everyone, and welcome to the Performance Cafe. It's great to have you here. And yes, we are halfway through November, so everyone's minds are starting to turn to 2022. I know some of us are still trying to get our heads around the fact that we are on our way to the December holiday. Having said that, though, there is something about setting oneself up for success. A friend of mine who I also interviewed on Performance Cafe as a coffee companion, Karen Shallett, always used to say, you know, summer bodies are made in winter, meaning that you can't ignore the gym all of winter and then expect to have this beautiful body at the beginning of summer. And Karen was very infrequently wrong, so I'm going to believe her on this one. And so the other day I was watching the movie Man on Fire with Denzel Washington and Dakota Fanning again. And it's a beautiful movie on so many levels. But what I found really interesting that really resonated with me was the whole concept that this little girl played by Dakota Fanning, was an incredibly good swimmer. And she swam so well, and she was the fastest kid in the pool. However, she always used to get a fright at the sound of the starter's gun. So she would flinch, and by the time she'd finished flinching, all the other kids were in the water, and then she couldn't catch up. And so for me, it is so beautiful that in this movie, Denzel Washington walks around with bricks and he keeps on smacking them against each other, close to her head when she's about to jump into the pool, so that she will hear that sound, that sharp sound, and get desensitized to it. And so this is how he helps her to get over the fear of the sound of the starting gun. And I sometimes think that that's a problem that we all have. We're so busy flinching for, January is on its way and we need to get ourselves ready, that by the time we finished flinching, it's already February, March, and we still don't know where we're going with the year. And I think people who set themselves up for success don't flinch. They're planning now for January. So now's an excellent time. I know that a lot of us are tired and that it feels like a lot of work. But now's an excellent time to start reflecting on, where do we want to go in 2022? How are we going to get there? And I read the most beautiful quote, and I can't remember who it's from. I think it was from Mackie. I forget his first name, who is the CEO of Whole Foods. And he also wrote the book Conscious Capitalism and Conscious Leadership. And he said, just trying to remember the exact wording. So he said that one of the big moves in leadership is to stop seeing human capital not as a resource, but a source. They are not a finite resource that you must use up, suck up, and drain out. But they are a constant source of thoughts, innovation, work, ideas, contributions. I thought that was a very beautiful one. So getting back to my original story, almost forgotten about already again. So to get back to my original story, what money resources, what capital, what human capital sources, what products, what services, what locations, which clients. It's important to start taking a look at this. And I always say that it's great to do your strategy in December, so that when you get into the office in January, no one's floundering. People know what's expected and they can just get right to it. And I think that's motivational for people, because if they get back in January and it's the same as last year and there's nothing new going on, and if there were any questions or outstanding projects or whatever, it's just same old, same old. It isn't motivating. But if you can start fresh, if you can do that strategy now before you go on holiday on the 15th of December, as we do in South Africa, when people get back at the beginning of January, they know what's expected. And maybe they can even be excited about it and perform much better because of it. So here's looking to you and your strategy for 2022, which we of course can help you with. If you need any assistance, just let me know. And then I look forward to seeing you either on YouTube. I think it's about here at the bottom of the page somewhere. If you are watching us from YouTube, look forward to seeing you there again soon. And please like, subscribe, and then also share. If you are following us from LinkedIn or from Facebook, lovely to see you there. Please also like, share, comment, because we'd like to hear what's happening in your life with regards to strategy for 2022. And if you then still have a moment, go to YouTube and subscribe. And I look forward to seeing you at the next Performance Cafe.